Hey everyone, my name is Cade Williams and I'm a sophomore in construction engineering management here at Purdue University, and I'm going to be telling you about my 2019 summer internship. I spent this summer out in Seattle, Washington working for Sullen Construction. I was specifically in their Rufus office, which was downtown, located just off of the Amazon campus. I specifically was working on the Block 20 project, which later became known as the Amazon reInvent building. This project included two different buildings, one of which was 37 stories, the other was a little bit shorter at 7. These buildings contained a lot of office space, obviously, for the workers, and then some center of energy / activity spaces, mainly amenity areas for the workers, including exercise space, dining space, you name it. Then there were also some retail space on the street level with some restaurants and stores. And then also 6 levels of parking right underneath the building. The user of this building was specifically Amazon Web Services. And then this building also included 2 architects, which caused a little bit of difficulties. The shell and core and TI side of things were done by 2 different companies, which kind of caused some differences in looks of some floors, so it kind of had to take some creative cuts just to make sure that every floor looked like it was done by the same person. And then this also included a owner's rep, Seneca Group, which just added another layer to the project that I got to experience. Just jumping into what I'm going to be talking about today. First off, just what I did this summer in my role in the company. Then some lessons I learned, my biggest challenge followed by my greatest triumph, and then some things I wish I knew going into the summer. What I did this summer, mainly I took a lot of photos, mostly with my phone, some of which were with 360 camera, just to take some progress photos of some spaces and kind of track that throughout the summer. I also worked a lot on the punch side of the project. I was there during the closeout phase of construction, so a lot of things were being polished up, so I got to take part in a lot of walks and just make sure punch items were being fixed and taken care of. Also did a lot of project documentation, submitted a lot of submittals, sent in some RFIs, and then also processed a lot of work orders, change orders on the accounting side. Also some field coordination, meeting minutes, and then I just helped out on whatever projects needed an extra assistance. Talking about the lessons I learned, first and foremost was that you always want to ask with a phone call first and then confirm with an email later. I really didn't like this because I do not like talking on the phone. I'm just not comfortable with it yet, but I hope to be soon. But it was really important just to always start that ball rolling with a phone call the subcontractor, call whoever's in charge or responsible for one of the changes that you would make. But super easy to just be able to call and then later send an email. And then another lesson I learned is just some subcontractor management skills. Obviously, they do a lot of work on your project. You want to make sure you have a good relationship with them. And also in the event that they might be slacking, you want to kind of hold their hand a little bit and constantly remind them to keep getting the work done and to do it the way that your standards are at. Here's an example of a project that I got to help on with a subcontractor. So this was an installation of another graphic. This one had some cool tickers and some metallic clouds. So actually right when they installed those metallic clouds, during a punch walk, the architect said that that was not exactly how they wanted it to be. There were a couple dents, wrong colors. So they sent it back, but because the users were moving in the next week or so, they had to print out some white vinyls to kind of make it still look the same. And then they would later come in to install the new metallic clouds, which was kind of cool to see. My biggest challenge of the summer was definitely working on all of the punch lists. So towards kind of the end of the summer, we had users moving in, a building management company that was moving in, so they were all kind of creating their own punch list items. This caused a lot of difficulty because there were a lot of inconsistent and duplicate items coming from all different directions. So I kind of got thrown all of those lists and I had to compile them into one kind of mega list. But it also was confusing on the completion side of things because subcontractors would complete them on one list and wouldn't update the other. So that was kind of my job, was to make sure everything was working together. Looking at my biggest triumph, though, is also on the punch side of things. By the end of the summer, I was able to kind of lead my own punch walks. Not only does it give me just like a feeling of confidence because I was aware of the project and aware of kind of the structure of things and how all the subcontractors were supposed to be doing things, but also gave me some one-on-one time with some of the architects just so I could ask things from their perspective, look at what they're exactly looking and what their intent was with the design. This right here is actually an example of something big I found. So right now I took that picture from one office looking into another office. So there was an entire missing kind of wall right there that I was able to find. Unfortunately, it did happen on several floors, but I'm glad that I found that before people were actually moving into those offices, because that would have been a tough build with people already in the office. Some things I wish I knew going into the summer. First off, I didn't need to wear a tie on the first day. I was just trying to look professional, but especially how they do things in the West Coast. No one really wears a tie, so I kind of looked a little out of place there going into a construction company. But again, I was just trying to be professional on my first day. And then I also wanted to know just a little bit more basic construction knowledge. There was a lot of different information that I wasn't aware of just because I don't have a lot of experience on construction sites. Just knowing how things are put together, how subcontractors go about things. Just think that that could have benefited me in just being aware of exactly what's going on the first day. Overall, my favorite part of the summer was just being able to see the progress. Because I was there in the closeout, a lot of things were going on to kind of put the project together. You can see some pictures of just how exactly a floor was put up in what sequence, and then also being able to see the result at the end, being able to actually see users move into the space, use it, and just exactly see what the project was being used for was really great to be able to see. Overall, I had a great summer internship, learned a lot, got a lot of good experience, and I'm excited to return in the summer of 2020.